What is up, folks? It's your boy Bob Hollywood back with another exciting review. Today I'm gonna hit you up with a retro review. It is this Toy Biz Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring 2-pack featuring Frodo and Samwise Gamgee, everyone's two most favorite popular hobbitses, as Gollum says, and I got a Gollum review coming up at some point. He's the only other Lord of the Ring figure I have. And again, I said this is Toy Biz, so this is, guess what, from the early 2000s when this movie came out. I think this movie came out in 2001. I bought this figure at a local flea market for $5, and I was happy to pay that price. That guy also had a Marvel Legends of the Mighty Thor, Jane Foster's Thor. But before I could get to it, another guy grabbed him, but he was also, or she rather, was also just $5. That bummed me out. I watched that guy for a minute to make sure he didn't put her down. But yeah, we're looking at the back of the packaging. It has a little bio for Samwise and Frodo and their elven boat accessory. You can see that. The Fellowship of the Ring leaves high elves of Lothlorien to continue their journey, restocked with food and supplies. The Elf Lord Celeborn provides them with 3 elven boats to ease their journey down the Odwin River. As always, Samwise Gamgee joins his friend and master Frodo Baggins in their own boat. The ring bearer and his companions must continue their quest to Mordor. Their goal is to destroy the One Ring before the Dark Lord Sauron takes it back to rule Middle Earth. I'm sorry if I butchered some names. I know I got certain names like Sauron, Mordor, Samwise Gamgee, and Frodo Baggins correct because they say it a million times in the film. And they probably said the other things I messed up in the film. I just don't remember. And then over here, we also have a bio just for the Lord of the Rings. 3 rings for the Elven Kings under the sky, 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord and his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie, 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all in the darkness, and in the darkness bind them. I butchered that. In the land of Mordor where shadows lie. And then you get some cross promotion. We have this Frodo and Sam here. Underneath there's a Uruk-hai warrior versus Gimli. I might have that Gimli. I'll have to take a closer look at the packaging and the Gimli I have. Then Aragorn, Elrond, Traveling Bilbo, and Orc Warrior. And I have an Aragorn. I don't know if it's that one. And then we also see how this is supposed to function. We get a proof of purchase from the year, I believe, in 2001. New Line Cinema Toy Biz. This is the first Toy Biz I've done in a while. Let's bust them open. Let's get them out of their plastic prison. Okay, folks, it took a little bit of time, but I finally got them free from their plastic prison. They were tied down with these things, and I had to apply heat to these two gentlemen so I could bend them. Real quick, before I go any further, we've all seen these things. We don't see them as much now, but these keep usually in like an accessory in a figure's hand while they're in packaging, which it did with this, which is done with plenty of the Angel figures I review. This one said this figure is from 2001. I'm going to compare it to the figure of Wesley we did earlier this month from 2005. This came off of Frodo's hand. It is still elastic. It didn't stick to him. This one ripped on Samwise's hand, but it's not stuck to him. I didn't have to try to get that off of them. Rant over. You see, there's quite a few accessories. They both come with a cloak, and you have to forgive me if I mix these two up. I was taking them out of the packaging, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to try to attach these because, yeah, I don't want to risk it not going back because, again, this is old. This is old plastic. This one's already apart. And that clipped in real easily. And this will just go around their necks. And it would clamp down. I'm not going to do it there. Complete the Hobbit, adventuring Hobbit look. If it gets cold or it's windy or it's raining, they could cover themselves up. Again, I'm not sure whose is whose. I do know that this sword was in Frodo's hand. And I believe this was his sheath. it goes in no problem. Before I see if it'll port to him, I just want to take a look at it. There's some red paint on there, not a whole lot. Like the whole thing isn't like completely done, but it does have texture. There's a design on the sword. As you can see, mine is warped, but that design is on both sides. The paint's kind of lazy, but then this hilt, this sheath, this is a little bit better. I like it. It looks a little weathered. There's designs there. And as you already saw that it goes in, no problem. It might be upside down, I'm not sure. But it does go in, no problem. Like I said, I know that this is Frodo's. There's a hole right there on his left hip. I just pop that in there. See if it goes. It's there. It's on him. He got that thing on him. I'm going to stand him over there. He's probably going to fall back. We got some oars here. And they each would have an oar. I probably should have done this with Frodo because with Samwise, I was not able to get his hands to turn, even after applying heat. So that'll be a poor example. Frodo's, all of his articulation is working. I could not get his hands to turn, and I could not get this to turn. It just needs more heat, which I just wanted to get to the review. And I'm noticing they have peg holes. So yeah, they can hold their oars. His knees do bend. I do have his knees bent. And I believe, yeah, this would be the front of the boat. Front facing. Kick his legs out some. Even though they're small, I can't get them to sit properly. So, and we'll put a figure in there later, a full-size figure to see if that works. I doubt it if I couldn't even get him. But let's go to his sword. His sword is different. His sword feels firmer. More silver, no real designs on the blade. The hilt is better painted. Brown. And let me just see if it's a different shape and everything. Compared to, I knew it was a different sword just because it's a different style, but I just wanted to see if it was shaped the same. And this is his sheath. It's a dark brown paint. There is some design there. There's some faux fur, not like faux, but I'm thinking it looks like fur, but it might not be. It might just be leather stitching. Some rope around it, some twine around the bottom there, and again, goes right in, no problem, comes out, no problem. Let's find where it's supposed to go on his person. Same thing, he has a hole on his left hip, but his is covered up. So, but it still goes on him. Little hobbit sword. Only other accessory is the boat itself and this water effect. I think this water effect looks really cool. It has wheels too, so you can roll the boat. That is awesome. There are wheels here underneath that. I like the paint, the white paint, making it look like moving water. That is cool. It's all throughout everywhere except for this bottom piece. That is really cool. And it tells you 2002. NLP Entertainment, Marvel Entertainment, made in China, or incorporated, made in China. Here is the boat. And if I had that wrong about which way is which, let me look at the drawing. Yeah, that looks like it's the front. But yeah, he didn't want to sit. Anyway, and you see it's getting like some residue. I keep touching my beard by accident, and that's where that's coming from. You see the holes to port that. That's how they were. That's why I was on there in the first place. Both holes are about the same size. Both pegs are about the same size. So I do not think it matters which way you do it. On the inside, it's some blue paint. No weathering on the inside. The outside, wash could have probably brought that brownish gray out. On this side, there's some weathering, but that just might be, that's definitely from just being an older item, but it still looks good. Seats are brown, or the feet pads are brown. There's a little bench there. And like I said, you saw me try to get Sam in there, and Frodo's starting to stiffen up on me again. Let's see. Because they're too high, their knees can't be bent fully in to do it, but you can sit, you try to kick their feet forward, and he's not actually sitting on the seat. He's too far back. And it's going to be the same thing with Samwise. His feet are just too big, even for that way. And even if you switch them, it's just hard to get a person in that front. No, it's Samwise. I can't get him in the front or the back. Frodo can do either, but he just has, really, well, yeah, there is more space that Samwise's feet is taking up. That sucks. That really does. But it's cool. Let's look at Samwise. I mean, let's look at Frodo since he's in my hand. I'm going to get rid of that sword so he can see his full articulation. I didn't expect these guys to be as articulated as they are, which is weird. I do have a Gimli. I do have an Aragorn. I should have known. I don't know, maybe because I thought they were smaller, they'd be less posable, but that's also just dumb on my behalf. But yeah, let's look at it, man. This cloak, everything, by the way, has a texture. The pants don't have the greatest texture, but there's wrinkles there. The vest, actually the vest has no texture, but these sleeves, this jacket, his hair, even this paint on the collar of his shirt, texture. Hair on his feet, texture. They don't have any, humans don't have treads. They're not going to have toe prints on there. But they do have the pegs. There's some information on who made these figures there. Yeah, I think Frodo looks good, man. That hair looks good. I got some blemishes there. Not the greatest Elijah Wood face, but it looks good. It doesn't look off or derpy. It just doesn't necessarily look like him. And I think for Elijah Wood, Frodo figures are the only figures you're going to get of him, other than, I think, Kevin from Sin City. I believe he played Kevin. I believe that was the character's name. I know he is in Sin City for a fact. I just might be getting the character's name wrong. And then let's look at Samwise Gamgee. Let's look at... I'm drawing a blank on his name, and I feel bad. Because Sean Astin, wow. I don't know if Sean Astin has any other figures. Maybe a more recent version for the Goonies, possibly. Don't think there's Rudy figures. I don't think he has a Stranger Things figure. So I'm not sure, but the same thing, texture on that hair on his feet. His pants have less texture, but there's different wrinkles. They're completely different figures. His jacket, same thing, texture on the arms, texture on the shirt where the buttons and the suspenders are. I believe these bags would be able to come off just because they're not glued anywhere. I'm just not worried about it. Does he have a bag? No, he doesn't have a bag. Just Mr. Gamgee. Yeah, and let me get rid of this. And remember, I couldn't get this to move. I couldn't get these wrists to move. But yeah, he looks good. He looks good. His face is better. That does look more like Sean Astin. Hair looks good. I see I got some glue up here visible from when they attached it. That's a bummer. But the hair does look good. That really is a bummer, but it's not always going to be in my face like that or in your face like that. Maybe yours is better. And it looks like I got a rip up here where his clothes are. Again, this is soft plastic. You've seen me move it a few times. That is wont to happen. That happens with modern figures. I think my Emma Frost from the Hellfire Club 2-pack. She's ripped right up the side of her little corset. Very noticeable. Sucks. Because that's not just like a $20 figure you can go do an exchange in the store. That was like $100 or whatever from Amazon. Or was it Hasbro Pulse? I think it was Hasbro Pulse. Got some paint blemishes there on his neck. And a couple of spots here and there. Not a big deal. I like the rosy cheeks on both of them, really. But I noticed it more on Samwise. These are good looking little tiny figures. Let's go over articulation. We'll start with Sam. Because Sam is stiff, we'll do Frodo for both of them. I mean, they have the same articulation. Frodo's head starts there. It gives you a little bit up and down, but that's just on a little tiny ball joint. It's going to rotate 360. Gives you that much for a T. Rotates 360 at that shoulder. Single jointed elbow. Gives you 90 degrees. Hands rotate 360. No hinges on the hands. Ab articulation. It just has this swivel or whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called, but it can rotate. Feet go four. Feet go forward that four. Go forward that far. Don't go back at all. Single jointed knee that gives you 90 degrees. And then he has a boot cut for that foot. No toe, no ankle. Yeah, they have the same articulation. It's just that I was successfully able to heat up Sam or Frodo enough to be able to do that. Let me get his accessories out of the way, or their accessories. And let me see if I can get their height compared to each other. They should be roughly the same height. Maybe one's taller than the other, but they are roughly the same height. It looks like Samwise is slightly taller, and Frodo is 4 1/4. Samwise 4 1/4. They are tiny guys, man. I mean, they're super tiny. I'm guessing they're appropriately 1/12 scale. I would have to watch the movies to see how they stand up to the other characters. I know the other characters can carry these guys no problem. But here are the two tallest members of the review crew, Roadblock and Titus. Titus might be huge compared to them. Huge. But it looks good. I mean, it is what it is. Black Planet. Black Panther. John Jones. I mean, everybody just might as well be at work to them. I don't remember how tall they're supposed to be, man. I mean, I want to say this is appropriate. I want to say these are 1/12 scale figures. They're not any smaller. I don't think they're 5-inch scale figures. And that's Zedmore and Lucio. And that is Vixen. And this is Andra. Come right past their hips. And for the final members of the review crew, two actors rather, that are the same height, but their figures aren't the same height. Devin and Lando. Oh, excuse me. Wow. Anyway, folks, that's it. That's all. Action figures speak louder than words.